Well, I'm looking at this as our goal is to streamline the process and actually have a successful process in place that we can uh, apply across the board with our sales and techs who are dealing with our customers.
Yeah, a great perspective. One of the things that we learned early on is that nobody, no sales manager, no leader can manage a closing ratio. It's not possible. It's one of the reasons why sales management can be so frustrating. But when there's a standard method of communicating and documenting, it's very easy to coach a sales and manage a sales process. And that's the crux of what we can deliver and why we have so much confidence that not only will we get a bump in sales, but with the sales management role being played out in an encouraging manner, the bump in sales can sustain. Uh, so that's why the focus on the process.
Yeah, and we're going to find ourselves, I know I'll be finding myself anyway, those of you that are being proactive and taking advantage of the pre-learning activities, there's going to be an equal amount of folks, if not more, that won't. And there's going to be a lot of post-learning afterwards to get folks caught up. But it's for those that choose to really maximize the time that we have together and really get the most out of this, let's get to work on that pre-learning. It's not that difficult. You just listen to a 5-minute video, read the information, practice, get comfortable with it, write down any questions so we can address them at the next webinar and tighten the gaps up a little bit to really get us ready and sharpened up for that the time that we're together to practice and transfer skills.
I'm really glad you guys broke this down into manageable segments like this because I feel like if it were the entire process in one meeting, it would be not as effective to really grasp everything and get a handle on it and maybe ask additional questions where I feel like it would be beneficial for the organization.
Well, appreciate that perspective being expressed. That's precisely what we're attempting to deal with in the segmented delivery.
Yeah, then you'll also have access to these pre-learning modules all the time. If you ever have to go back or bring somebody else up to speed, it's pretty simple to lead people through this, and tighten them up and get results. So,
Well, appreciate those questions and comments. Any other issues that we need to address before we get back to life?
Well, we have a meeting tomorrow among the sales and the techs. I mean, they have daily meetings here, 8 in the morning till about 9. So since this will be this is our first step in the process, what would you suggest would be the way to introduce them to the process? So they're all on. I mean, they know that we're doing this HVAC Business Academy, but so far most of them probably have not had a chance to log on and see anything.
well, framed around the first step, which is replacement sales. Are any of these folks going to be coming to the live learning event?
They're all going to be. Well, we're going to try to get as many as we can coming.
Okay, yeah, then I'd highly recommend that review this, get this in their hands. If you want to send their email addresses to me, I'm happy to send it out to them. What you're looking at on these learning events, it's designed to work on an iPhone, iPad, computer, anything. So we want to make it as accessible as possible for
So
them.
it works also on an Android just as well?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah, everything's formatted. Everything's formatted. Dennis and I decided early on that we're going to make sure to make everything as accessible as possible when people need the information. So,
Well, tomorrow morning we're going to collect email addresses from everyone, and we'll forward those over to you tomorrow.
fantastic. Yep. Well, add them to the list and send it out to them.
Yeah, in fact, for tomorrow morning, one thing you may want to consider is print up all the documents that are in this email distribution and pass them out, and just walk them through the first 2 videos, and get their feedback. As now the first video, the approach presumes that someone has been invited into the home to specifically talk about replacing equipment. Where the technician would pick up in the process is in the second element of the of the process, which is called the wants section. And we're gonna. I forgot that we don't have the bandwidth on GoToMeeting to actually show it, but if you just walk through the wants section, and that after a customer indicates that he or she doesn't want to put money into the old equipment, this is how we would start the conversation. What do you guys think about taking this approach? And just get some feedback. See what their thoughts are.
Okay.
That's one thought.
Now, as we progress,
I like how you're walking them through this, because there's going to be a process of pre-qualification and introducing yourself to the customer, earning their trust and respect, and once you're in the home, going through a process that I'm hoping for consistency here, so that every single time once this is in place and implemented, that it's going to be the same or virtually the same every time they do this. And the only thing that's going to change is maybe their response to objections or delayed responses.
Okay, good. Makes sense.
That's what it's designed.
Do you think that's realistic?
Oh yeah.
Trying to get this down to a process where across the board, our sales and techs, we have a system. They're on board with a system. They've been practicing it and training. Then they just apply it.
Yeah.
And through the learning event, then that's going to really help. Correct?
Yes.
It's going to be like 8 to 5. We're gonna talk about objections and all kinds of goals through the sales process. We're going to walk through different aspects of it. Correct?
Yes. Yeah, they'll be well equipped with that. Having said that, it's for them to get the most out of the experience. Taking the time to do the pre-work is really important.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really important.
Well, I'm thinking what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to have binders and hole punch them, and everybody's going to have binders. And once the material's handed out, then everybody has the same material, and we go over that material one-on-one in a small group. What do you think of that?
Sure. You might even get into and we all know the guys will resist this the first couple of times, but those leaders that have the technicians go into the role play during the service meeting, just to practice and get used to the style of communication. Don't pitch anything. Stay in character as a technician all the way through it. The role play will play a huge role in making it simple, clean, and coachable.
Okay.
Yeah, and you'll know. When you pick up a folder, job folder, or a proposed folder, and you see what documents are in that folder, you'll know if they're following the process or not. Did you find out what the customer wants? Did they make a list? Is it in order of priority? Is a proposal written in a fashion that it speaks to everything that they want? And oftentimes there's one or two things that are left out. And you can tell on ride-alongs, you can tell by looking at their paperwork, you can tell the way the jobs are turned in. So it's a very tight process and easy to manage, which is the fun part.
So essentially, through listening and getting the process down and really being attentive to their needs, and then finding the ideal solution among our product mix in our services that's going to fit those needs perfectly or as close to perfect as possible, then more or less we're also coaching the customer or holding their hand to tell them, look, you're in great hands. We're going to solve your problem, and here's how.
Yep, you're exactly. Yeah.
Is that along the lines of what we're trying to achieve here?
That's along the lines of what we achieve. Yeah, I mean, it's credibility, believability, and a sense of urgency. You know, at some point when you get a list of what the customer wants and you make certain that it's in order of priority and you go to that one area of the home where you can tell they're passionate about resolving, you know, instant credibility is to say, you know, Mrs. Smith, we see things like this all the time. I'm confident that I'm going to know exactly what it's going to take to make this just right. I just need to take a look at a couple of things. By the way, here's a list of customers that we've helped over the past 6 months with situations just like this. Instant credibility. Simple little things to do. It's just knowing when it's appropriate and how to earn the right to go there. But you're right. You're absolutely right. The biggest mistake I've found in sales that a lot of people make is that they'll either think they know what the customer needs and try to sell the customer what they think they need, or they'll try to sell the customer what they want them to buy. And they'll never ask the question, what are you wanting to accomplish? And listening to the customer and discovering what they want. As soon as you get that, you find out what they want and a list of goals, and you're on the same page. All you have to do is build a system and design a system that's going to speak to what they want. It's that simple. It really is. Once that happens, the probability of earning that sale goes up 70%.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's the fun part about this. It's so easy. It's a wonder people don't do it. I mean, so it's a lot of fun. So we're really looking forward to working with you guys. And
Same here.
And furthermore, after the learning event, we'll be having huddles like this. And the way that I'm going to be reaching out and touching base with your scorekeeper, whoever's going to be accountable for the numbers, highly encourage you to share those. I understand some of you may not feel comfortable with that, but I assure you that we hold that very confidential. That'll help us keep the focus on affecting, you know, the business. We do take a look at them on a weekly basis, and if anything's great, we'll call and celebrate. Anything's off, we'll call to see if we can help get things back on track. But keeping score and tracking is a critical component of this. So we're going to be calling whoever has been identified as the scorekeeper, the keeper of the numbers, with your permission, of course, everybody on the call, and work with them to get them equipped during this process too, so that by the end of 90 days, you'll be getting that report on your desk at 10:30 every morning to know if you're in a position to be profitable or not. So we're at the beginning of a process, so ought to be fun. Certainly appreciate everybody being on the call tonight. As I said, it is recorded, so what I'm going to do, I'll get this processed and out to everybody in case you want to reference back to it, and everybody that wasn't on the call, they'll get a copy of this as well. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to give us a call, shoot us an email, whatever you need. We're here to support you. And if we don't hear from you, we'll be speaking to you again next Tuesday.
And that will be around the same time, 5 o'clock? Next Tuesday, and that will be around the same time, 5 o'clock?
Yes,
That's correct.
Tuesday around 5 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, got it.
Okay, thanks guys. Go make it great.
Thank you. Hey, thanks very much. Appreciate your time.
Not at all. Looking forward to Tuesday.
Likewise. Absolutely.